it's it's a beautiful package. Look at that. It's beautiful. Now, but I'm gonna tell you though, for $250 with the new Razer one coming out, you don't get a case. It is prime, and I think that I've had some interesting thoughts about controllers in the last couple of weeks as it relates to what to expect from these controllers. We know that PlayStation is releasing one. We know Razer is getting ready to release one as well, and we know that the technology in the controllers have changed over the years, and some of them are there's a resurgence of things that are happening in the controller market, especially with certain technologies like Hall effect sticks, where they don't wear out and stuff like that. So why is that important? Keyboard and mouse has been a thing for a lot of years. People love that. People love their keyboard and mouse, and that's absolutely fantastic. But when it comes to the controllers, there's always been this thing about, well, the controller is not as great as the keyboard and mouse. In terms of longevity, that's been true for some time until recently, right? So when you look at the Dreamcast controller, it had the Hall effect type of sticks in it, which is why that controller never wore out. We saw the same kind of technology, if you want to call it that, in a PS3 controller. We've seen the same technology recently introduced in the Ghillie Kit controller. We've seen the same technology introduced in the 8-bit Do controller as a second option. So you have two different products where you can choose the actual Hall effects in that particular thing. And then we have other controllers coming out, and they're coming out like the Victrix Pro BFG, which we're going to talk about today, right? So this controller is amazing. Danielle, I'll take it from here.
So I actually been bringing this around with me. It's been like a lot of fun. There's only one thing I haven't been able to test with it yet, but I my entire thing about this controller is I love the way that it looks, but it's the customization for it. 100%. That's like that is the number one thing that really sets this apart. I know there's controllers out there that when you hear like, "Oh, you can customize this, you can do that." No, not on this level. Like the fact that you can change from like, the fighting pad to where your directional is to where your joysticks are and have it be so versatile like that, it's leagues beyond what other people or what other controllers are saying is customizable. But that is also personal preference too. So I am very happy with this. I love the way that it felt. I tried it with my PS5. I did not try it with my PS4, but I would assume it would be just as good and it's easy and enjoyable. The other thing is I've been trying it on my PC as well too. It does have a switch up top that you can switch in between your PS5, PS4, PC. And I've had no problems. I haven't had any problems with any of my games being recognized. It was instantly recognized by my computer. Didn't have to install or do anything, that was a hassle for it whatsoever. Um, and I know I'm boasting about it. If I have to bring up one thing that I wish it had, it was weight.
Okay.
And it feels like in my hand, it feels very durable. It feels strong. I love the materials that it's made out of. It's very comfortable. But I think I like a controller that has some weight to it. And it's just it feels like it would be more durable if it was a little bit heftier. Like when I hold it, it's pretty light, but I'm also afraid to drop it versus something that has some weight to it where if I accidentally drop it, like I know it's going to survive. This one, I'm not going to test it. That's like one test I will not try on this thing is a drop
Yeah.
test. First of all, I
Right.
do not throw my controllers in anger. I do not get like gamer rage like that. If I get angry, I know how to gently put myself down. So, in any cases, if it ever comes out of my hand, is by accidental dropping. I'm not going to try that on this. Um, and it's not to say that I don't think it would survive, but I think it's a mental thing for me that because it feels so lightweight, it doesn't feel like it could handle that. And that is my
Hmm.
concern.
Okay.
Like well, and the other thing that I really want to test out too. So I haven't gotten a chance to, even though that was one of my intentions because I had this for like 3 weeks now. I got it just before Thanksgiving. Um was my Steam Deck. So if you have the Steam Deck, it doesn't really have a USB port, which is what is required for this to be able to be used. But I do have, I still don't know how to pronounce this company's name. I do not have the official Steam Deck docking station, but I do have the JSAUX docking station, which is compatible with this. I've had this since October. I bought it on my own, not a review one. And it's $50. It does have the USB on the back. So that's the one thing I haven't been able to try is try it on my Steam Deck, see how that works. As much as I love the portableness of the Steam Deck, sometimes I just want to use a controller, and that's kind of why I've been using my phone and my PS4 controller. But if I can manage to use this and adapt it for this would be awesome. So I can probably give an update on that when I get around to it and running that through the ringers. But for what this controller is built for, your PlayStation, PC, I'm impressed. I really am. I really do love it. I it's just that is my one gripe is just I wish it felt heavier in my hands. I wish it had a little bit more weight to it. Whereas compared to my C40, there's a noticeable difference in the weight there. Like this feels closer
Absolutely.
to yeah. Which this feels closer to the weight of, my standard PS4 controller, which I've dropped that thing a lot and I've broken some because of it. And I think that's where that paranoia comes from, is that I'm afraid if I ever accidentally drop this. It's not cheap.
Yeah. You got more?
No, you can go right ahead.
Yeah, I love it. And I think that we have had the pleasure and the blessing of checking out a lot of controllers throughout the years, right? So whether you're looking at whether it's the Gambit or the C40 or the Series 2 or the standard, Xbox controller, which is still really good. And then now you have the Pro BFG. I recall watching a video recently, and this guy was doing a rating video for different controllers, and he was going through the cheapest thing he can find online was like 20-30 bucks, all the way to the most expensive thing that you can buy, right? The most expensive controller right now is set to release very soon. I think that's the Razer. That's $250, right? That's coming up very soon. I think that's January. I think that's
I think
January.
so.
Don't quote me on that. But I mean, that's 250 bucks. My thing is, at 250 bucks, you should have every single thing that's going to make this controller last a very long time built into the controller. Now, the only thing that I have to say that maybe it may seem negative about the Pro BFG is the fact that we're at a stage now where the technology for us to no longer have stick drift in the controllers, you can put them in the controllers, and I don't think it's in this one. And that seems like it's an uninformed opinion. It's not, because I reached out to them and I asked them, and they don't have Hall effect sticks in this controller. Now, does that make the controller a bad controller? Absolutely not. It's an excellent controller and provides a lot of value at 180, 170 plus dollars, right? It provides a lot of value for everything that you're getting, and it is one of the best controllers on the market today, by way of not just design, but who it's competing against. It's really the Xbox controller and then what Victrix makes. Victrix didn't just get on the scene. As you know, Danielle, they've been making stuff for a very long time. And when you look at their arcade sticks and all the other stuff that they have on the market, and then they decide to introduce to us the Gambit last year, which is the best Xbox controller after the Xbox controller, the main one, right? So, like, when you take that into account, and there's other companies that make great controllers, but as individuals are finding out that, this is not a new rodeo thing for Victrix, because they've been making things for a long time and they have in-house engineers. My only thing is, like, please, next one that you make, Just make it compete with the Gilly Kit because now you're competing with some other individuals now. You're competing with Gilly Kit because they have Hall effects. Those sticks are not going to wear out. You're competing with 8-Bit Do, okay? And then the Razer one, the guy in a recent in a recent review that I watched, he said friction free sticks, but he didn't necessarily mention if they had Hall effects or not. And that's going to be a big deal for controllers moving forward. And those companies that decide to put those things in the controller, they're going to see more turnaround for them. Even if you make a secondary one where so now Victrix, this is so Gambit was last year, Pro BFG is this year. Next year you might see a version, you might see a Pro BFG 2, right? And this is not of sources that I know or anything like that. Let's just play it out. Next year you see a Pro BFG 2 or 2024. And then it has the Hall effects and all the other things, the bells and whistles that we really want to see in controllers. Because nobody's really making a argument anymore, from what I've seen, about using a keyboard and mouse versus a controller. I'm seeing things in profiles now that people are saying that they're proud to use controllers on their PC platform. That's what I'm seeing. I don't know what anybody else is seeing, but that's what I'm seeing. So at the end of the day, this is exciting time for anybody that uses any type of peripheral for their systems, and mainly if you're going to be on the PC anyway. And even when you look at the Call of Duty, recent the Modern Warfare 2, there's a lot of controller players on there that are using Steam, and so it's just the nature of where we are. So making the controller even more durable and even adding additional warranty, because I know that's a big thing too. Because as we look at the controllers, it's 2-year warranty, 3-year warranty. People are happy about that. And the only controller I've really experienced stick drift in is the Astro C40. And you can replace those things because the modules are different, and other aftermarket companies, they make other things for it. But I never really experienced that until the C40. And that says a lot about how good controllers can hold out, but we're in a different place now. So Pro BFG, it's a really good controller. It's about 180 bucks.
179.99, and you can pre-order it now on
Yeah.
pdp.com.
Yeah. Shout outs to them. It's a really great controller. It does have the precision sticks built into the controller. I'm not trying to like be a downer about it, but I know that individuals are going to say, hey, in the event that they get stick drift, they're going to complain about it. But just know that the controller is well built. I do not plan to drop it. I promise. But it is a pretty dope controller. Any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, other than that, I mean, for me, the weight thing, the weight issue is obviously a very personal thing, personal preference for me. If even if you're not like if you're the type of person who likes to just collect controllers, or you go for the aesthetically pleasing ones, and I'm not saying we're talking about some very serious gaming here, but I also know that there's people who just love to collect controllers. Hard to say that one. And they just like the way something looks, and I definitely think this is something, if you're just on a visual aspect of it, uh, to add to it. I mean, it's very sleek. It has a nice black matte look to it. The texturized grips on it, it feels nice. It's not like fighting to compete with the rest of it. The purple is such a nice accent color that complements it really, really well.
Absolutely.
I know we kind of lightly mentioned it about the customization. Mine is just the standard that this is the way that I like it, but it does come with the fight pad that's really easy to install. That is like one single, like it comes with a screwdriver if you buy the case. It has a nice case, comes with a little driver to pull it out. The fight stick part is one whole module. You have different types of D pads. You have different joysticks for the different heights. They all feel really, really nice. The one thing I think is kind of common throughout. I think a lot of controllers. I haven't come across a single controller that hasn't had this issue, but this comes with heavy use. Is I would like to see how long the joysticks really last before it starts seeing that wear, that tear, um, and how easy it will be to, get some replacements in for it or covers or anything like that from PDP, that will, complement this very well as well too. If that is your thing, that's what you like. You go for looks more than just full function. But this is definitely something nice to add on to that collection, and just everything just matches the way that it comes across. So aesthetically, it's very pleasing to look at, very nice to have within your collection or as a display. And on top of that, it's just been a lot of fun to use. Um, and I really don't have any other complaints about it other than just a little bit heavier. All I would personally want.
Yeah, no, it's just really constructive. Like, and it comes with a case, right? All the stuff is neatly packed in a
It's
case.
it's
It's
it's a
beautiful.
pack.
It's it's a
It is
beautiful
nice.
package. Look at that. It's beautiful. Now, but I'm gonna tell you though, for $250 with the new Razer one coming out, you don't get a case. Okay? So I'm
I shouldn't
just
have snickered at that.
I'm putting it out there. I'm putting it out there. Hey, $250, no case. I mean, come on. Can we get a case? Can we get a case?
That
I'm
should
gonna
be a
be nice
standard
here. I'm
thing.
gonna be
Come
nice.
on.
I'm gonna be nice. Can we get a case, please? Can we? So $250, you get no case. Some stuff even at $350, you don't get a case.